So I went to go see Lincoln tonight. Lincoln is about 2 hours and 30 something minutes. It's a little long, but it was pretty good actually. It was interesting to see the battle that he had to go through to make this decision about freeing the slaves. It's all about freeing the slaves. So, it's not about anything else but him freeing the slaves and why he freed the slaves. Like the debate is, did he free the slaves just to end the war, or did he free the slaves because he was over slavery? Um, Really kind of hard to tell from this movie which one he really favored more. I think it was probably a mix of both. I think he really needed to end this war. The war had gone on for 4 years. He was a war president. They elected him again president. After starting the war, but typically speaking, maybe he was the reason why you don't typically get anybody else in office when a war is going on. Um, it was interesting to me, these things. Um, One, the battles, the vernacular, the arguments that took place in the Senate at the time were very dramatic and just crazy. Like, just the fighting and the backbiting was just nuts to me. Um, it was also quite interesting that the president roamed around so freely. Like, he was never with a bodyguard, never with any kind of protection during a wartime. I mean, pretty much everybody was walking around with guns, but this cat was just walking around in a top hat. Why was he always wearing a top hat? He was already 7 feet tall. Did you want to be 7'9"? Is that what you were going for, Abe? Anyway, um, he would like be sitting on the porches of people and talking and roaming the streets around at nighttime, just all willy nilly. That was kind of blowing me because that's totally opposite of what goes on today with the president. Um, and that was, maybe that's why. Maybe his assassination is the reason why the president is so protected these days, because honestly, this cat was going to the theater like he was going to watch TV in his living room on a regular basis. Like that, I guess that's what they did. But he was in the theater unprotected. And then, are there any hospitals? They actually brought this cat. He actually died in the White House. They actually brought Abraham Lincoln back to the White House after being shot. Is it, where was Providence Hospital? Was Washington Hospital Center made yet? Like, were there no hospitals back then where people who have been shot go home? Did you actually put that nigga back in the carriage and take him home? I'm so confused by that. I'm just so confused by that. Senator Stevens, who fought for the right of slavery to be ended, fought for 30 something years for that to happen, took home the legal document of the abolishment of slavery home with him. They allowed him to take it home and bring it back the next day. And apparently it has a crease in it. Because he wanted to show his maid, who was for real, his woman, uh, that he had finally had become successful in ending in helping to end slavery. So Abraham Lincoln's wife, played by Sally Struthers, no, I'm sorry, Sally Fields, excuse me. She was very dramatic and great. Like, she really played her role. Loved her. I can't even name all of it. There were a lot of people in this movie. Um, it's a very good movie. Steven Spielberg is the director. You know what was interesting is that I was sitting on pins and needles wondering how the vote was going to turn out. Even though I know how the vote turned out, I was still like, are they going to free the slaves? What else going to do? What else going to do if they don't free the slaves? A very interesting question was raised by one of the senators who was against abolishing slavery. He was like, what happens once we free the slaves? And somebody said, they'll be free. Like, that's just it. it was interesting that they were so fearful of freeing the slaves because they were fearful that no one was going to run these plantations. No one was going to be on the plantations. They thought, oh my God, if we give them freedom, they're going to want to vote. But you know what was more upsetting to the Senate than Africans and African Americans voting? Women voters. Baby, they went in when they were like, "What happens if we give the Negro the right to vote? What's next? Women? Oh, hell no!" Like they went up in arms over women voters. Like that was interesting to me. Um, Also, that I never thought about this, and I don't know why I never thought about this, but I just assumed that Lincoln was a Democrat. Lincoln was a Republican. It was the Republicans who wanted to end slavery and not the Democrats. I don't know when that liberal thing switched over, but maybe I should be a Republican. I had to think about that. Like the Democrats were like hell bent, like hell no, we ain't freeing no slaves. Who gonna run these plantations? What us gonna do? What us gonna do? Like, um, yeah, that was that was eye opening. I never even considered him being Republican before. He was very soft spoken in this movie, and I guess that was his nature. Um, but he really battled, and he had a very internal battle about what to do. I'm not so sure if he did it for me. I'm not so sure anymore. I'm not so sure it was for me or for him, and to for the divided country to come back together. I'm just torn. Maybe it was to make me think about all of this. I don't know. But I just kind of felt like I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Why did he do it? Is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? Are they gonna free the slaves? Like I kept thinking they're not gonna free the slaves. They're not. They're not. It's not gonna go through. This vote's not gonna go through. They're gonna revoke my freedoms right here in this movie theater. They probably got somebody outside waiting to take me back in shackles right now. Lincoln. Yes. I can see why it's up for so many awards. It's pretty good. And guess what? The slaves were free. Hmm.